The comedian Fortune Feimster is in the studio with us here. North Carolina native.
Yes.
Graduated from when it was called Peace College. And she's with us here. She'll be at Goodnight for 2 shows. 7:30 and 10 tonight, 7:30 and 10 tomorrow night. Not for the faint of heart.
Yes, make sure your hearts are good.
It's great to see you, by the way. We were
nice
just
to see you.
talking about a lot of the similar connections that we sort of have.
We have a lot of Peace College days connections.
It's now William Peace University.
Yeah, so. I know. It'll always be Peace College to me.
Well, you know, my sister graduated from there around the same time you did.
Yeah.
And she was very concerned that her degree would not say Peace College,
right?
When, you know, like down the road now
Yeah.
that the name was changed when she applied for jobs and all that.
I know.
So you know, I guess, but they let them like have it as a Peace College thing still. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
yeah. Our degrees will not just go away. Thank God.
We'll get into all of that here in a second, but let me just say, you and Martin Short were the only 2 funny things on Mulaney.
Oh, thank you. We were just talking about Mulaney earlier. You know, I love John. He's the greatest guy.
I had such high hopes.
I know a lot of people did.
Stuck with it, and it was
his stand-up's so funny.
I know.
And he's so funny. You know, sometimes it's just hard to please everyone as far as the network and your own vision, and I think there were just a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. And I'm not just telling you this when you were here. I actually told our guy that we do TV with each week, Paul Goebel, I said the only 2 funny people on that are Martin Short, who was fantastic in that show.
Yeah, he was great.
And Fortune Feimster, who you actually made me laugh out loud with your with your lines. So they were good.
Well, you know, I got to do all of my scenes with Martin, which was pretty awesome.
You were part of the crew on the show, right?
On the show. Well, it was almost like that show had 2 shows in one.
Right.
Where it was his, home life with his friends, and then this job, and I felt like you kind of had to pick one, and
just stick with it.
They didn't really coincide very well, the 2 worlds within the world.
They were, he was the only link between the 2 worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
I think too, it got a lot of pressure put on it when everybody was saying the next Seinfeld.
Right. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard when you put Seinfeld with that, because people were just like, that's not what Seinfeld did. And Mulaney's doing his own, he's trying to do his own thing.
That's not what Seinfeld was funny. Oh,
we love you, John.
Fortune Feimster will be at Goodnight for 2 shows tonight and tomorrow night. I am truly excited you are here.
I'm so happy to be here,
and it's great to have you in the studio. We'll tread lightly on this, perhaps.
Okay.
Your obsession with Hooters, though, strikes me.
I do like Hooters a lot. It's because I grew up with 2 older brothers.
Is that right?
Yeah, and we had a big family, so it was easier to go feed a big crew of people at Hooters. We just get a giant platter of wings.
Plus, growing up, how close were you to Gastonia? Because it's the only decent restaurant in Gastonia.
About 10 minutes from Gastonia.
Yeah, see, it's like 5-star dining in Gastonia.
That's where you got to go.
I went to the Hickory Hooters
years
and years ago. It was fine, but people were there with their dates, and I thought that. This was years ago.
You can't do that.
No, I thought it was very strange.
That's where you go with your dude friends, or in my case, your family.
Yeah, or your buds, and you watch some football.
We actually went. I met my family in Florida this summer, and we went to Hooters. It's just like our thing. I don't know. But even my mom's like, "Let's go to Hooters." They're like, "What?"
But you wear the gear and rep it.
I do. I have a character named Darlene Witherspoon, who is a Hooters waitress. I filmed that video years ago just kind of for fun, and it sort of took off.
But I saw a video of something in your house that somebody was doing an interview with you, and you had like somebody had stitched a Hooters.
My friend had painted the Hooters sign, and I have it in my bathroom.
Yeah. I didn't know it was in your bathroom, but see, I know now.
I know. Well, I can't believe Hooters hasn't hired me to promote their business.
Why wouldn't they? Because you're funny,
right?
And you'd be great on those commercials.
Just be hanging out with a bunch of chicks.
Yeah,
just been eating chicken wings. And I mean, it would be so good for their business.
It would.
Anyway, come on, Hooters, get with it.
Get with it. Would you like to go to what do you think of these male spin-off versions thereof? I mean, I don't think they're gonna do very well. It's a bunch of ladies are gonna go to a restaurant and eat hot dogs? Yeah.
No.
Fortune Feimster is with us. Okay, there's a ton of things, because you mentioned the characters you do. A lot of that is with your work with the Groundlings, correct?
Yeah. I was there for about
a lot of these would be characters. For those,
it was a sketch comedy school in LA where a lot of Daryl and Kristen Wiig and she wasn't on Saturday Night Live, but Melissa McCarthy, you know. So, well, yeah, a lot of our characters that you do end up seeing on the show like SNL were developed at that theater.
Yeah. Did you try out for SNL?
I did.
Okay.
I tested twice for them.
Okay.
Back in 2009, 2010, they flew me out.
Is that right?
2 summers in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was on stage in front of Lauren and Seth Meyers. And
really?
Yeah, it was
now,
cool.
You've been on Conan, I know.
Uh-huh.
Has Seth Meyers had you on his show?
We're in the process of working that out.
Right.
I've sent them a set, and they're like giving me notes, and we're just, hammering that out.
Do they come see you, or do you kind of have to? Do you have to send them stuff? How does all that work?
Send them stuff. They know who you are. Like they usually know who you are at a certain point, and they've had a changeover of talent bookers, so we're just kind of like getting the stuff to the new person. So that'll happen at some point.
Fortune Feimster is with us.
Yeah.
North Carolina's own, was here in Raleigh at what was Peace College.
Yep.
When did you graduate?
2002.
And then you were a tennis star there, were you not?
I was pretty good. I know I don't have the body of a tennis player. People would not look at me and be like, "Oh yeah."
Power though. A lot of power.
A lot of power. I had a giant power serve.
Yeah.
I still play.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Who do you have any of your quote unquote famous friends that you played tennis with?
I mean, I play with Chelsea Handler.
We're going to get into that in a second.
She's pretty good.
Is she? It seems like her reflexes would be slowed.
I mean, she's trying to get better. She has one of those hot guys that are her pros.
Is that right?
Pro tennis coach. She's getting better. She's not quite there yet.
Yeah, when she's able to beat you, if that ever happens.
I doubt she'll ever.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you hang it up then at that point?
Heck no, she's not gonna be able to beat me.
Okay, so there's no hanging it up on.
No.
Okay. Well, how did you?
She could drink me under the table.
I was gonna say, well, that's what I was trying to allude to earlier. It seems like she would sweat out all of her drinks.
Of course.
Playing tennis, and it might dull her reflexes a little bit.
I think so.
So how did you get involved with her? You were a writer and then kind of a performer too on her show.
Well, I had just done Last Comic Standing, and
did you like that? Because we've had people come through here and
I did like it. They didn't like it. The other people.
It's just different experiences for everybody.
Well, it's a different. I feel like every season is a different experience because they've changed. The reins a lot. When I did it back in 2010, it was good for me because I had never been on TV before.
Right.
So it gave me the perfect amount of exposure to make people be like, well, who's that? And so that's kind of what sparked people's interest with me. So it was an incredibly positive experience for me. And then from there, Chelsea's people were doing a search for a new writer, and I just applied like everybody else.
Oh, okay.
And
so there was no inside.
No, I mean, and that's the nice thing about Chelsea is that, if she gets some sort of hunch about you, she'll give you a chance. You know, it's not all like who you know and what credits you have. At the time, I had never written on TV. So. And
then her new show, has it started yet, the digital version of the show? Or?
No, it hasn't. She's going to do a Netflix show next year, but she's doing 4 documentaries leading up to it, where she talks about a certain thing. And I did her last one with her, which was on drugs. So I will say that I had to smoke weed with her, and it's quite amusing. I don't know.
This is on the Netflix thing?
Yeah, this will be on the. I don't know when it airs, but they're putting it all together now.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like the lead up to whatever.
You're not at Hooters when you do this?
No, I'm not at Hooters. At her house, and we get pretty ridiculous.
Fortune Feimster's with us. Chelsea lately, how many people are on staff when you're there? Like writers?
Now it's no longer, but when we were doing it, it was about 10 of us, 10 writers.
So what's that what gets is it like any other process with shows? Certain jokes make it, certain jokes don't.
You go through in the morning meeting, we would all pitch topics about, and we'd have to come up, all agree on 6 topics, and she would pick. If she didn't like something, she would obviously let it be known. So once we picked those 6 topics, we'd go around. It was like a free for all, like everyone yelling out jokes. Yeah, and you and your another writing partner are assigned 2 of the topics, and it's your job on those topics.
So you don't know necessarily what you're writing jokes for. Till maybe
the morning, that's because we wanted it to be fresh. So every morning there was new jokes, and so then once you yell out those jokes, you and your writing partner then go into the office and clean them up and add punchlines. And
do you have someone that you collaborated with regularly, or do they sort of mix it up to
Heather
keep it?
McDonald was my writing partner.
Okay.
You're just assigned somebody.
Oh, okay.
So we would it would be our job to punch them up.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you'd go to each other for help.
Yeah.
So it was very collaborative.
Do you foresee whatever she's about to venture into with Netflix? Is it going to be like her old shows, or going to be a little different?
I don't know.
Yeah.
She hasn't told anybody. You know, once I did that weed thing with her, she's like, "Oh my God, that was so funny! You got to do that on my new show."
Yeah,
and that's as much as I know about the new show.
Okay.
I don't know a thing.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of format. She might even not know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it. But you know, it'd be interesting to see what she does because it is Netflix, and you know, it's kind of like, how do you do a talk show on Netflix? Yeah. Maybe she'll be the pioneer of that.
It could very well be. Fortune Feimster is with us here. It's great to have you in studio. It really is.
It's really nice to be here.
You're going to be at Goodnight's Comedy Club. We love Goodnights.
Yeah, it's the best.
7:30 and 10 tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah.
When was the first time you performed there?
Gosh, I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago, they let me do a one-nighter, and it went really well, and so they've had me back several times since.
When is the first time you get on stage?
The first time ever?
Yeah.
Like for stand-up?
Yeah. Because you were doing theater I
did theater at Peace, but I kind of sucked at it. But they did like really obscure plays, you know.
They're very dramatic too.
North Carolina, you know, people were like, "We want Steel Magnolias," and you know, we're doing some weirdo play. So it never resonated with me, and I never got to do comedies, so I didn't know, you know, that I was any good at it.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't until about 2 years into the LA experience that I did the Growlings, and that's where I started comedy.
I got you.
For that, so I'd say like 8 years ago, I started stand up.
So when you moved out to LA, what were you going for, a writing job, or were you just saying I'm packing up and going to Los Angeles?
I got hired as an assistant for an actress from Raleigh, actually, named Emily Proctor.
Yeah.
She was our commencement speaker at Peace, and we hit it off, and she offered me a job to go work for her, and I just kind of, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, this seems like a cool life experience. I wasn't necessarily going for like, oh, I want to go, you know, be a comedian. I was kind of like, this is such a rare opportunity to get offered something like that. And so, you know, the chances of me meeting someone like that are very rare. So I was like, well, let's just go see what this is.
Do you have an assistant now?
No.
Okay.
I'm not quite the baller yet. I've been close to getting my own show, which I would have been having an assistant then.
Right.
But,
now, what was that going to be on?
I've sold 2 shows so far. One was with Chelsea. That was 3 years ago. I sold it to ABC.
Okay.
It didn't move forward. It's past the like script phase. Then this year, I sold a show with Tina Fey as a producer.
Wow.
We actually got to shoot it, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because that's like a $2 million project.
Wow.
And so we got to do that, and
a lot of Hooters wings.
A lot of Hooters wings, yeah. It went really well, and it was awesome. Annie Potts played my mom. John Carroll Lynch played my dad. But then it didn't end up moving forward, so that was a huge bummer. Yeah. But, you know, it was a big deal for me because a lot of people in the industry, you know, remind me, they're like, almost no one ever gets to do that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you're still young, relatively too. You know.
Yeah. So I have time to get something going again.
Do you like the road? I mean, you enjoy?
I do. It's fun because you get to meet a lot of people, and you know, there's something about that live experience that is just so cool because you get that immediate feedback and people come up to me and say the nicest things because the Chelsea fans are pretty, even still today, are very loyal and very like they love her, love the show. So that trickles down to us, and we appreciate that.
So I do notice occasionally you do go back to, you try at least to go back to Peace, I guess.
I do. I try to
do some stuff,
do some shows for them every now, or if not a show, some sort of like, you know, Q&A.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more. It seemed like that was sometimes more interactive and instructional type of stuff.
Well, because we try to do stuff for the students where they can, you know, have access to someone who's on the West Coast doing this thing, and like if they have questions about how to do that. Because I know when I was in school, I never knew anyone that lived in LA or was in the business, and just having access to information is so cool. It's because it's different than like somebody who's, you know, going into some academic field. There are other people that want to be in the creative field, and so it's nice to be able to talk to somebody. If they ever ask you to come back and deliver the what is it, the commencement address? I was gonna say keynote, but the commencement address, I would do it. Okay, what would you tell the kids who are about to go out in the world? You know, I was the graduation speaker as a student, and I told them, because I remember I love college so much that I remember being really bummed that it was ending, and I was afraid that this was as good as it got, you know? Right. I was like, what if I peaked in college and this is the greatest. Better than peaking in high school. It's true. And I'm like, and this is, you know, and life is just not as great after this. Yeah. And so it was kind of, my message was sort of like, you know, the fact that you did something and it was so great means that you did something and that you should be proud of that. And, you know, that's only going to continue to get better. It's just because, you know, you're afraid when you graduate that, like, of everything. Like, am I going to get a job? Can I pay my bills? Right. It's just that it would be nice to sort of ease their mind a little bit. You had the job, though, before, like, when you graduated or before you were, like, right around to go out to go out west? Yeah. No, well, she spoke at my graduation, so we just met then. Okay. So it wasn't until later that summer that we reconnected, and she offered me that job. That's an amazing story. Yeah, it was great. Are you still friendly with her? Or we don't talk now. Okay. Just, you know, life happens. You move on, and that was 12 years ago. And I mean, we'd run into each other a couple of times since then. And let's face it, she's no longer a star. So you don't need her. You're on the rise. Well, she's a mom now and doing her thing. Yeah. You know? Don't make excuses for her, Fortune. I'm super grateful that she gave me that opportunity. Fortune, by the way, is my middle name. Yeah. Yeah. How did that come about? It was my grandmother's maiden name, and she wanted my mom to name me Fortune, and my mom thought it was too big of a name, so it was a compromise. So Emily is my first name. Yeah. And I actually grew up as Emily, so most people from Peace know me as Emily. Is that right? Mm-hmm. But so if you look back through all the great tennis records, say Emily. all my skills are underneath Emily. But when I started comedy, I was like, I have this really awesome middle name. Like, why would I not? You know, absolutely. Emily's not as exciting as Fortune. No, it's very exciting. And it was kind of to pay homage to my grandmother, because she really wanted me to be named Fortune, and she was a big influence on me growing up. So it's sort of like a little shout out to her too. Yeah. Emily Fortune Feimster, but Fortune Feimster will be at Goodnights tonight for 2 shows, 7:30 and 10 tomorrow night, 7:30 and 10. Go out and see her; it'll be a lot of fun. I really, again, thank you for coming in. It was great to have you and talk to you and reminisce and learn so much about you. Well, it's been a pleasure. I feel like we just had a lovely first date. We did, didn't we? Will there be a second? Is the question? We'll see. Maybe. People will have to tune in to find out. You have to leave them with cliffhangers. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right about that. See, we got to sum up everything here on radio, but you can do that. No, we're gonna leave y'all hanging. Yeah. Will they? Won't they? Thanks, Fortune. Sure. Thank you.